Hello ladies and gentlemen, gabestah here. Today we are looking at an achievement guide for the My Cool Bay Explosions achievement, which wins the award for best name by far. And this requires that you destroy all 3 Protoss docking bays in the Shoot the Messenger mission on hard difficulty or higher. So this one is somewhat time-based, but the time limit is quite forgiving. So potential build, this is a pretty standard Kerrigan build that I do in these early missions. You want twin drones and automated extractor. The heal is good, but you won't be using Kerrigan all that much if you do it in the way that I show here anyway. On the other hand, if you choose to go for a more ground-based army, then you'll want to worry about Kerrigan a little more. For the army upgrades, again, it depends if you go with this method or not. If you do this method in the video, you definitely want rapid regen for your Mutalisks, as they are going to be your primary assault unit. So the basic idea for this guide is to use your Mutalisks to assault the various bases and the docking bays without having to clear through everything that Protoss has. So let's go ahead and rewind and get started. So as you begin the mission, pretty standard. Immediately build up some drones, get your hatchery hotkeyed, throw down your extra extractor since you have automated extractor. So you'll get a lot more gas for one drone. And if you're doing Mutalisks like I am here, gas is your big limitation. So we also need another base right away. So once you throw down some creep tumors, move your army with Kerrigan to the east and clear out these few Protoss that are here. Remember to use Kerrigan's abilities freely, and that will make things a lot easier. Once you unlock this hatchery, set up your rallies, set up your hotkey for both hatcheries, and then keep spamming drones. And here I couldn't remember if the campaign allows you to upgrade flying units from your evolution chambers or not. And turns out no. So you do have to do spires just like multiplayer. So that'll come in a little bit. For now, I'm just getting my infrastructure basically set up. And then once that's going, then we can focus on Mutalisks and flying upgrades. So shortly after getting that second base, move your army back to the west in preparation for the first shuttle that's coming down. You also can move your spore crawlers up a little bit so they're not as close to the actual exit area, whatever it's called. And that way they get more time to actually damage the shuttle and the flying units. And just try to keep your drone count even on the bases so you don't oversaturate one or undersaturate the other. And here we're studying the shuttle. And get it down pretty easily. And just keep spreading your creep. You want to have creep at least far enough to give you enough vision and get to about a quarter of the way up the map, somewhere around there. And this will be useful for when you create a bunch of ground defenses in the choke points with spines and spore crawlers, which we're going to start doing here. So minerals are not your limitation at all. As I mentioned, it's gas. So you can use extra minerals for defense because your primary assault here will be all about your Mutalisks. So once you have enough gas, you're going to want to look into building spires. And I should have built 2 spires right away. I didn't think, but you're going to want to do double upgrades on your spires. So try to get both of those out at the same time early on and start getting those upgrades going. And the idea is the sooner you get the air upgrades for your Mutalisks, then the sooner you can actually assault with your Mutalisks and not be in too much danger. It's worth mentioning that using mutas on this is a little bit, well, it's hard to say. It may be more difficult for micro purposes, just moving your mutas in and out of things like Storm. But once you get that critical mass number, things just melt under you. And more importantly, if you don't want to actually attack any army, you can just fly over everything, kill off the shuttle bay, and fly away. And it's really simple. On the other hand, if you want more gas, you're going to want to destroy a couple of the Protoss bases and take their extractors. So you have to figure out what the balance is for you that, seems appropriate. But anyway, at this point, I've got both my spires upgrading. So I'm going to throw down my defenses. This middle choke point is the most common attack point for Protoss. So you really want to saturate this area. And I didn't grab enough drones here, so I'm going to get some more. But basically over defend this area, because when you're busy dealing with your mutalisks, you don't want to have to worry about your base. And otherwise, as long as you have the upgrades going from the spire, all your gas should be spent on muta production. And here we are, just focusing down. And if you have the heal from Kerrigan, you can bunch the units up or over her and heal just like that. So that's pretty handy if she's nearby. But most of the time later on, especially, you won't have Kerrigan near your mutas. So that's why we have the heal strain, or whatever it's called, for the mutalisks. So they can move away and heal a little bit. So now we're building up our choke point on the left as well. That's the other attack point that Protoss will come in at. And again, you have plenty of minerals, so don't be afraid to spam those and then use extra larvae on extra drones if you need them. And trying to build my creep up, but went a little too far. There's a cannon up there, just shot it down, so not a big deal. So here I'm going to try to clear out some of the Protoss and move up to take the next base, because I want some more gas. And getting the final armor upgrade for flight. And pretty simple. Now, if I was doing this again, I would probably use more of my minerals, build a few more hatcheries early on, and just spam out Zerglings with all that extra larva. I could then use those Zerglings to just constantly assault bases, and just if they die, or when they die, more accurately, I just remake them. It's not a big deal. Because the only thing you really need to worry about is keeping your muta count at a stable number. Keep building up that number, and once you get that critical mass, then you can fly over and assault the docking bays. But as I said, in terms of time limit, you have a lot of time if you're going with this muta build, because you can just focus most of your minerals on defense and your base, and Zerglings and stuff like that with Kerrigan. And then later on, you'll easily destroy the airwaves where the shuttles are involved, like here, with all your mutas. And then you can just say, all right, now I got enough. I'm going to go ahead and assault the actual docking bays at this point. So I cleared out most of the stuff from that base in the top left. So we'll go finish that off now. Spamming out some more Zerglings. Again, I should have more hatcheries so I can get even more, because I have plenty of minerals. And I'm going to get even more minerals soon. And checking which base has the most oversaturation. So taking some of those drones up here with me. And a few Protoss are coming down to assault, but it's all pretty much cleaned up at this point. Zealots trying to surround Kerrigan, but I'll have none of it. Alright, and so once this base is down, go ahead and plop down a hatchery and some gas. Now there will be some assaulting Protoss that will engage this base later on, so you may want to build some static defenses or just keep your ground army kind of positioned near this base to defend against that. You could also move up all the static defenses that you had in the left choke point up to this base here, and that will serve basically the same purpose. So my mute account's starting to get pretty high. Again, just try to keep them alive, so don't be afraid to micro a couple out if they're getting low. Let them heal up on their own. And it's really up to you what supply you want to reach before you go for shuttle bay assaulting. I don't really remember if I had a specific number in mind. I just, when I felt I had enough, pretty much. So transferring a bunch of workers, and then another shuttle pack coming in. So we'll take us down pretty easily. Maybe lose a couple mutas, so not much at all. Really, the dangerous thing about mutas in this map are the Archons and the Storms from Templar. So as long as you're paying attention when you assault base areas, you should be able to keep your mutas spread out pretty well and move them out of storm, just like that. There you go. And then once you get out of the storm, there usually won't be enough energy for the Templar to do more than one or two, so you won't get absolutely destroyed by it. And then you just heal up from their regen, and off you go again. I noticed some gas on the ground over here, so I'm moving my ground units over to pick it up. And then I'm going to start assaulting this area here to take out a bay. Now, or excuse me, actually this is another base. That's right. So I can get another extractor. Not necessary. I could just go straight for the shuttle bay, certainly. So I'm focusing down the Archons because you can see their splash just destroys my mutas. Then I'm backing out a little bit, make sure they heal up some. Yeah, they heal so rapidly. It's amazing. Oh, and I've been rallying my hatcheries now to my mutapack. Once I get a good number of them, I'm confident that rallying to there is okay. So I'm just starting to clear out this base. The nice thing about using mutas is that there aren't a whole lot of units that will attack up. Most of this is, the mission is designed around using Hydralisks, since that's the introductory unit here. So there's a lot of Colossus and whatnot that obviously can't do anything to your mutas. So just kind of attack moving into this base area, pretty much. And shuttle came out around that time, so I'm just going to follow it down with my mutas. And once that's taken care of, there's another shuttle that I'll have to go pick off with my mutas. There it is. Oh, and there's that assault stuff I was talking about. So I should have moved my static defenses all the way up there. I only built a few, and they're not going to be quite enough to take off that assault. No, save the hatchery. Alright, so now I've got this other base I can take over with 2 extractors. Juicy. So, with hindsight, I could do this mission again a little more efficiently by assaulting the top right base first rather than the left one, because more extractor gas, basically. So there's a terrible storm. Terrible damage. So just move out of that a little bit, kill the Templar, and you can see quite a few mutas are low health there, but not a lot to attack them. A couple of cannons and whatnot. So I'm sort of setting up my ground base now at this top right base just to protect it from any miscellaneous Protoss. But at this point, we've kind of reached that critical mass number. There's so many mutas here. So you can just attack, move into these bases pretty much. Just watch if you get stormed or if there's Archon around. And there's a storm that misses mostly. So again, it's up to you. There's a nice storm hit. Whether you just directly attack the shuttle bay and then move out, or if you clear the area for something to do. Arguably, just attacking the bay and then moving out is probably a better method if you want to do this faster. And moving up here, a few Phoenix, Void Rays, no match. There's a shuttle just hanging out. I guess it has to wait for the other one to go or something. Oh no, it's moving now. So I've got the bay down. And now I'll just move down and finish off the shuttles. And that's pretty much it. So, yeah. Once you get enough mutas, as I said, everything comes together and you'll have plenty of time in terms of the waves to finish it off. And so once you finish the existing wave and all the bays are dead, then you'll get credit. Mission will be over. So that is the My Cool Bay Explosions achievement. Good luck, and thanks for watching.